Hi.
Welcome to another one of our Compass Leadership Vlogs. We're honored that you take your time to watch these things, and hopefully you're learning something, at least about who we are and why we do things the way we do.
And you deserve a whole level of honesty and vulnerability from us, so that's what you're going to get today. We're going to talk about some kind of tough topics. We're gonna just get a little raw, get a little real. And the first question is, like, what have we learned during COVID? I mean, we're living in a crazy season. You say something really great about this, about how many things we've been through in 6 months.
Yeah, in the first 6 months of 2020, I know I didn't come up with this thought. Somebody else said it. I just thought it was just intense.
I think it was very validating. I mean, you know, when you say it, it's very validating. You're like, yeah. I feel all these crazy emotions. Oh, I feel validated now when you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I think that's kind of what part of the power of it is. In the first 6 months of this year, we've experienced a presidential impeachment, a pandemic, a stock market crash and mass unemployment, and then shuttering of millions of businesses, and now vast social unrest. Mm-hmm. And each of those events are decade-defining events. The kinds of things that just kind of like say in the decade of 19...
Yeah, in the 60s or in the 70s or in the 80s, and now we get to say
in 2020, in half of 2020, we had a powerful, intense century. And so we're all kind of swirling. We're all feeling a lot of stuff. Feeling all the feels, as they say. And so...
Yeah, so the question posed to us is, what has come out of this? What have we learned? And that's a big question. And I don't think we can do it full justice.
No, because we're still learning.
Because we are. I think we will still be learning for another decade. I think some of this stuff, I don't know if you've been through really... for me, I've been through some personal events that, were very defining. And... it sometimes takes years to unpack and really see what you learned in that season.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, for example, the stock market crash of 2008, it wasn't almost for a decade later to fully understand the impacts of it and really what all the inputs to it were. It wasn't just those what do they call them? Those greedy corporate bankers and that was a part of it, but there was a huge
part of it, but there was so many other layers.
Decades of legislation that set it up. There was so much that went into it. It took about a decade to really understand it, and we have 4 things at that scale, and we're trying to, So
this is the tip of our iceberg, and we will have an entire iceberg worth of things to unpack over the next
over years.
Over the next years.
So what have we learned?
What have we learned?
You had a VeggieTales song right there. Anyway, all right. So what have we learned? It really has been a heck of a season. It's not over yet, but 3 months into COVID, my first takeaway is that when you have a good team. And we have just a heck of a team at Compass. You really can accomplish some amazing things.
Yeah. In these 3 months, we haven't lost one manager. And we've had individuals that actually had planned on leaving and stayed. We've had individuals that had started 3 days before all this started, all this pandemonium. And they've been amazing, and they jumped right in. And so we, first and foremost, have learned, again, 1, that our team rocks.
Yeah.
And 2, that together we can really move boulders if we need to, quickly.
Some of the things that we did, we completely reorganized our service model in SLS. We instituted virtual coaching. We instituted virtual training and for our open.
We've redesigned pieces of our software to account for COVID, and we have more changes coming. So we've made a lot of advancements and changes in our software product.
We altered how we do our hiring by you doing it virtually.
ILS went to a virtual model of providing service. And the list goes on and on and on.
And we did all this over Ring Central. So
we did all this virtually in our house while we were trying to teach our children.
Business on top, party on the bottom. No. So it really has been a season where we've accomplished a lot, and thanks to you guys for helping us do that.
Okay, so that's one thing, that we love our team, and like Eric said, that you guys can accomplish so much just when faced with challenge. So we really appreciate that. All right. So I think that's awesome that our team hears that we really do appreciate them. But let's take it a step deeper. We said we were going to be vulnerable. What about you? And then I'll say about me.
You know, there's a song that you may have heard. The hook of the song is a line, "Fear, it is a liar." And to me, the truth of that song, the truth of that statement has really shown up in this time. The first night that we thought at Compass that one of our clients had the coronavirus, an elderly woman, and potentially vast exposure through that potential infection, that night scared the bejesus out of me. I mean, I was freaking out. I mean, it was early on, and so there was so much that I didn't know, because the unknown is always scarier than the known, you know. But it turned out she didn't have it, and we made some changes because of it. But my takeaway is not that I shouldn't have made those changes, or not that we were unwise in what we did in response to it, because actually all the things that we did and all the things that we've done during this season, I stand by. Our policy changes, our schedule adaptations, our technology, all these changes.
PPEs.
We spent tons of money on PPEs that we may never use. And I'm okay with that. It's kind of like an insurance policy, right? At the very worst. If you want to call that waste, it's an insurance policy, and I'm grateful for it. But the anxiety, the fear, these sleepless nights, the nail biting, that aspect, I kind of feel like I got lied to a little bit. Not by any human, not by any organization, but by fear.
By your own emotions.
By my own emotions. And my lesson is that I cannot let my emotions rule me. I need to make sure my values lead me, and my commitments lead me, and my faith leads me. I need to be led by those things, not by my emotions, because my emotions will always take things farther or bigger than they really are.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my big
good.
Personal takeaway. How about you?
Gosh, this is, Eric and I decided not to write down notes, and we're kind of shooting from the hip here. So I'm digging deep inside of me, and I'm coming up with one of my lessons. I think one of my personal lessons is knowing when to ask for help, knowing that this season of essentially being isolated, like being separated from other individuals, meant that you had to lean in more, and you had to be more intentional about making connection, and about remembering that you, one, are not alone, and two, that individuals out there that you can't see or touch or hug or do coffee with still deeply care about you, and you deeply care about them. And I think that has been something that's definitely carried me through and reminded me about that. And I mean, I think about some of the different Zoom parties I've been a part of, and I was a part of a client's birthday party, and just even personal, some Zoom events, and Easter with my family online. And it's not perfect. It's not ideal at all to be on a Zoom call with your family for Easter. But the love and the intentionality and the memory and the thought of this is that we still want to be together even though we can't physically be together, was very meaningful to me. And I think it just really reminded me and rebuilt that sense in me that we are not alone. We're not meant to be alone. And we need to be a little bit braver in this season and ask for what we need, because people can't even see your face, so they don't know that today's a bad day, or that you had a moment of fear or whatever. And so you just had I felt like you had to really practice vulnerability with people, because you had to actually be the one to reach out. Like, they wouldn't just discern it from seeing you.
Did you have any people that surprisingly jumped out for you and did it for you?
Honestly, back to our team, I had some moments with my team. I actually sent an email to one of our team members, Sherry, and I just told her I've never felt so known in my whole life. Like, I felt so known. She sent me a really awesome, sorry guys, sent me an awesome email, and it just reminded me that I'm known. And she saw me, even though she hasn't seen me in months. And so there was moments like that of really precious love that can be exchanged even though we couldn't be together. And so yes, I had many moments. A lot of them were from my team. So this is a really great community. So if you are looking to be known and you're looking for a community, this is a good one. There are some really good folks here who will let you know that they love you and they care about you and that you are known. So
absolutely.
I feel known in this process, even though I couldn't be with people that I love. So
That's a really important lesson, because a lot of us actually, in times of stress, will isolate because we'll want to protect, and so we'll disconnect. But that's just the opposite of what our souls really need. What our souls really need is intimacy, connection, which takes some vulnerability. And during a stressful season, that can be extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thanks, babe.
yeah, so we want to spend some time on other issues that are going on and other things that we have been learning about, but we wanted to just make sure COVID had this vlog. So this is going to be a new series. We're going to do a few more of what we've learned about some other things going on in the world today. So be tuning in for what else we've been learning, but for today, these are some of our lessons from COVID.
That's right. All right. Well, we love you guys. Stay well. Again, thanks for watching these things. And if you're not a Compass team member or a client, you watch these. Wow, we're always blown away by that. Anyway,
Yeah.
take
All
care.
right. Take care.